Almost as quickly as he promised to impose tariffs against Mexico and Canada, President Donald Trump agreed to pause his plan for 30 days. And depending on which version of the story you're reading, it is either an incredible win from the dealmaker-in-chief or an embarrassing blink. Joining us now, NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans. I will say that there was a lot of backlash to the imposition of these tariffs. The markets didn't do so well yesterday at this news. So do you have a good sense of whether this was all part of the plan or whether the president needed to find an exit ramp?
I'm not sure what the plan is, but the market did not like it in the early going, did not like the fact that the two biggest allies of the U.S. were about to have a 25% tariff. And then that's when you saw the U-turn and you saw markets come back. But the China tariffs are on. I mean, they're on as of midnight, and those are 10% tariffs. And then there's retaliation from China. So you've got sort of a simmering, maybe going to happen dispute in North America. And then you definitely have tensions getting worse between the U.S. and China. In fact, Trump just told reporters he's in no rush to talk to Xi Jinping. A couple of days ago, it was they would be speaking within the next day or two. And he said when asked, hey, there's retaliation from China, he said, that's fine.
What exactly did he get out of Canada and Mexico? Mexico's sending some more troops to the southern border. Canada's going to do some drone flyovers and helicopter flyovers. Is that what he got for, I'm going to give you a 25% tariff?
He also actually didn't even say that after a month he might put on tariffs again anyway. We still have just vast uncertainty here. It's something that even today, uncertainty is the kryptonite for business owners and for small investors and anybody trying to figure out what they're going to be doing, with their money in a month or so. And we just don't know if there will be a trade war with these two countries.
Can I ask you another question on a slightly different subject, and this sovereign wealth fund?
Yeah.
Can you explain this to me?
So usually sovereign wealth funds are when a country has a whole big, huge surplus of money and wants to diversify from maybe it's an oil country or it has minerals or whatever, and use that surplus to invest and diversify your economy. The U.S. is running massive deficits, already has a Fed with a Fed balance sheet and a Congress that makes investments in other industries. Appears to be Donald Trump wanting to have another, fund or pot of taxpayer money that maybe doesn't have the scrutiny of Congress and can make investments maybe in Panama, Greenland, and elsewhere.
Does he have the authority to just to create one on his own? Does
I don't
he need
know.
Congress to?
I don't know.
Save the power of the purse, technically.
I just have never seen a sovereign. Norway has the biggest sovereign wealth fund. Norway has all kinds of oil money, and so it's diversified its economy. But usually it's like Russia with its oil money, trying to make sure that it's making its economy a little less reliant on oil. The Middle Eastern countries have sovereign wealth funds where they invest in other things. There's been some talk about the U.S. maybe having a sovereign wealth fund so it could invest potentially, like in TikTok. It could buy TikTok. But there are critics who are saying, wait a minute. This is taking taxpayer money out of the purview of Congress and putting it in the White House so that they can just buy and sell what they like.
All right. Christine Romans, thank you very much. And joining us now, former Treasury official and Washington Post contributing columnist Natasha Sarin. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's go back to the tariffs and this 30-day pause. Can you help me understand what the intent is here, or what can you figure out what the intent is with this 30-day pause?
Well, Kate, the first thing I think that your viewers should understand is, Trump really didn't get anything in response to initiating this trade war. So what he got is Mexico is going to have some more border patrol. They had already committed to doing that. Canada is going to invest more in border security. They had also already committed to doing that. The only thing that was new that came out of all of this is they're going to have a fentanyl czar who's going to be responsible for trying to think about the nature of fentanyl and the crisis in the country and crisis in our country as well. But remember, Canada's responsible for 1% of the fentanyl coming into the U.S. So this is really sort of relatively small ball when you're talking about a global trade war that he started initiating over the weekend. And that is kind of surprising, and it's kind of surprising given that the market reaction and the fact that the world perceived this as such a grave event shouldn't actually be all that shocking. Estimates that I've done with the Budget Lab at Yale suggest that the tariffs were going to cost consumers around $1,200 a year in increased prices, the largest tax increase that we've seen on families since the 1990s. And so he walked it back. That, again, no shock there. But as you're saying, it's not a permanent walk back. He's walked this back temporarily for the next 30 days. Who knows where we're going to go from there?
do that research, get those numbers about the $1,200 just yesterday. It wasn't all just, oh, we're going to do the calculations in the past 24 hours. I mean, these numbers have been out there for quite some time. The Trump administration knew full well what the impact would be, or at least they should have if they were doing their due diligence. Do you have a sense that this was never really something that Donald Trump wanted to follow through with, that this was always about, you know, him playing strongman on the world stage and wanting to appear, make it look like he's getting concessions?
Listen, Trump has said tariffs are his favorite word in the dictionary. And he's also said that he wants to see tax cuts in this country as a way to fuel growth. And so those two things are like internally inconsistent. A tariff is a tax increase. It is a regressive tax increase on middle and low income Americans. He knew that. His administration knew that. You had Scott Bessent saying a year ago, as Treasury Secretary, that tariffs are inflationary. You had Trump saying yesterday that Americans are going to have to bear the pain for a little while of a trade war. I think that he's kind of going to a place where he likes the idea of having strong tariff policy. He likes tariffs as an instrument. It's something that he can do unilaterally in some cases. Whether these cases actually apply in this context, I think, is a question for trade lawyers. But I think that what we're seeing is that, and what I hope we're seeing, is that the market can, in some sense, provide some sort of discipline on these types of actions, because you did see a very strong market reaction immediately yesterday and a very strong reversion once these tariff deals or temporary pauses were announced.
And Natasha Sarin, thanks so much for joining us. We do really hope you come back.
Thanks for having me.
Really clear. I appreciate it.